So you're thinking about moving to clean Texas? Well, in this episode, you surely don't want to miss it because we're going to be talking about things for new homeowners and existing homeowners, what to look out for. So we're going to get after it right now. So if this is the first time to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be the first one to be notified about what's going on here in Central Texas. Hey there, my name is Chico Martinez. I'm with the Living in Central Texas channel. And today's episode is going to be kind of a quirky, fun one, okay? Because we're going to be talking about what's that smell. Yes, you heard right. What's that smell? Yeah, we're not in a cooking show. We're in a real estate show. So this is about learning the different smells that may occur in your home so that you can know what's going on with your property, okay? So these are common things that happen, especially whether new or resale properties, right? A lot of people, when they buy properties, they walk in, they're looking, and as they're looking, sometimes they go into a room and they smell something and they think something's wrong, etc., etc. Well, this video is gonna reveal what some of those smells may be. Now, this information that I'm getting is directly from an insurance company, okay? Which means that this is verified by professionals in the field, by contractors, electricians, plumbers, everything, okay? Now, I'm not gonna mention the insurance company because they're not sponsoring this video, right? But I did gather the data for you so that you can be aware as a homeowner or a new to-be homeowner, all right? So the first smell that you want to make sure that once you walk in the room and you understand it is going to be a fishy odor, okay? So a fishy kind of smell. So the possible culprit for this smell is going to be electrical issues, okay? So if you're ever walking into a room, or especially in the garage where you have your panels there, right? So let me tell you guys something. This happened to me maybe about 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. I went into the garage and all of a sudden it smelled kind of fishy in there. Like if, you know, there was a fish rotting in there. And I was like, well, what's going on? So I started looking, but I couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. So I forgot about it. Wifey goes in there, she says, hey babe, you know, there's something going on in here. There's a fishy smell, you know, is there like a dead, you know, mouse or something, which we don't have, but you know, we're coming to that conclusion. There has to be something dead around because we couldn't find it. Well, what happened was, as we started pinpointing, it was our electrical panel in our garage. And I opened up the electrical panel, and a lot of those amps, a lot of those circuits there that were there, they were pretty hot. So it was a very good thing that we found out, because if you let that go on, you never know, right? So some of the risks are that you can have an electrical fire and you can lose your home. So if you're walking into a room and you have a fishy smell, unless your teenage kid has a plate of salmon that they didn't eat the night before and they left it there, right? If you walk into a room and you smell kind of a fishy odor, start looking. And if I were you, if you feel like something's wrong with the electrical, please don't get involved with none of that. Call a local expert, a local electrician, have them come over, take a look, evaluate, and let you know if it is a smell. And plus, they will repair it for you, right? They will fix it for you. So just to be on the safe side, if you do have a fishy smell, just remember it has to do with electrical issues, okay? Smell number 2, okay? Sewage. This is a big one, all right? How many times have you in the past had a leak, a plumbing leak in your home, whether it was in the sink or maybe you had some backup in the, you know, in the restroom, in the bathroom? You're definitely going to have these issues. So when you smell sewage, there has to be something going on in the house, especially with the piping. In this case, you definitely want to take care of that, because you don't want to wake up or going into your house and all of a sudden you see sewage all over your bathroom floor, or you see your sink dripping and now all the wood in there inside the sink is all messed up underneath the sink, and all the cabinets are all messed up, and now you have all this water and nasty backflow that's coming in, right? So in this case, what you would need to do if you do smell sewage, look at it, evaluate, and on top of that, if you are not a handy person, right, call a contractor. Again, as a homeowner myself, this happened to me too, right? My kitchen sink got clogged up. Actually, as of the making of this video, I think it was like about a month ago, about a month and a half ago, this happened, and I had to call a plumber. So my sink was backed up. All that nasty water that's in the plumbing, sewage, all comes up to the sink, and man, it was nasty. We couldn't get a plumber in there it was Friday evening when that happened. We couldn't get a plumber in there until Tuesday the next morning. Well, I said, babe, I gotta call Joel, and Joel's a good buddy of mine. He came with his machine, got up on the roof, and literally unclogged all the plumbing, and we got rid of that. But yeah, it was, I still called Joel. He still took a couple days simply because his machine was being lent, right? So we still had to live with those nasty sewage smells from the pipes for about a couple days, and guys, that sucks, trust me. So if you smell anything that has to do with sewage, whether it's in the kitchen or in the bathrooms, it has to do most likely with your plumbing. Please hire a professional. In this case, my guy is a professional. He's a contractor, so he knew what he was doing. I didn't know, so he got that done for us, okay? So number 3, okay, smell number 3, we're looking at ammonia, okay? So leak in the refrigerator's coolant lines or defrost pan, deteriorating washing machine hoses, or decomposing rodent or small animal. Okay, so these are very important things to look at. So you may have a little mouse or something that got caught somewhere, now it stinks, right? Or maybe your refrigerant lines from your AC units going out. Well, that's very important to notice, because if that happens, then you're definitely gonna have to call HVAC guy. Okay, you're gonna have to call a HVAC contractor, get them out there, make sure that everything's running, everything's working fine, because you don't want to have a small child or a cat or a dog or something, touching the coolant lines or anything like that, especially if they're leaking, and babies putting them in their hands in their mouth, right? So you definitely want to avoid that. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you want to take care of these things, because these things are essential for your home to be, all right? So common places: kitchens, refrigerators, freezers, laundry rooms, floor drains, bathrooms, crawl spaces, okay? Usually risks, they could be fire hazard, but with regularly inspection, washing machine hoses for cracks, replacing them 5 to 7 years, you'll be all right, okay? So smell number 4 would be rotten eggs, okay? Rotten eggs. Now, this is a big one, okay? Because this is very important, because if you have a gas home, right? A gas powered home, whether it be propane or whether it be natural gas, you definitely want to take care of this, because this insinuates that there is most likely a gas leak, right? And if you or your family are smokers, you definitely don't want to be smoking where there is a gas leak, okay? So this is super and uber important, because you want to make sure that you guys live in a very safe home, especially if you have this smell. So one of the preventative measures that you guys can take, okay, would be to install carbon monoxide detectors, okay, and have gas appliances serviced regularly, and avoid using a gas stove for space heating. Okay, so what that means is that sometimes people use their stoves, they open up the oven and they turn it on, and they want to use that for heat during the wintertime. If your stove is of gas and you're doing that and you're a smoker, I don't think that's a very good combination to be doing, okay? Plus, your stoves are not to be used as heaters, okay? So when it comes to rotten eggs, a rotten egg smell, make sure that you call a local gas company service if that's what you really find out that it is to be, right? Make sure that you and your family are safe and that life can continue happily ever after, all right? Because you don't want to be smoking around that stuff, all right? Number 5, damp and musty odors. Damp and musty odors. So a lot of times these occur in the basement or in the bathrooms, right? Where areas in the house are prone to have some humidity, right? So a lot of times in the bathrooms, because there's no ventilation, sometimes there's not a machine for ventilation. So when people take showers, all that heat stays in there. And so the hazard that can happen is, one, that creates mold, okay? So it creates mold, mildew, and if you're breathing that in, then that can be very hazardous for your health. You definitely don't want to be breathing that stuff in, okay? So damp areas such as crawl spaces, sometimes depending on the attic, right, on the house, how they're built, sometimes some attics may have a musty smell, garage, basements, bathrooms. These are areas that you definitely want to make sure that you want to get well taken care of, so that way no one can be at risk for health. Plus, if these areas have too much water in them, like for example, let's use the bathrooms, which is the most easiest, then a lot of times you can have peeling paint on the walls. Your sheetrock can get damaged, it can get warped because all that water is penetrating the sheetrock, and so now the bathroom is not looking good. Now you're looking around the corners in the bathroom or on top and you see nothing but black mold growing. So these are things that you definitely want to take care of. So one of the measures is put a ventilation system, call a contractor, have them install it in there, and that way as you guys are taking a shower, all that dampness can just go up and get out of there, okay? So that's just an easy way or a remedy that you can do. Now for today's last is going to be sweet odors, okay? Sweet odors. So the possible culprit for this is going to be coolant leaks, right? So you're going to have near the AC units, the refrigerators, the heat pumps, under the sinks, or near the cabinets. So risks are that you may have health issues. You definitely don't want to mess around with these chemicals, right? And 2, your appliance may be damaged. So more money out of your pocket, right? So if you have or happen to smell these odors, right, and don't think it's one of those Glade refresheners, then you're definitely going to want to take a look and make sure that what you're dealing with is something that can be remedied in time, right? So one of the preventive measures is to schedule an HVAC maintenance and periodically inspect the appliances for any leaks. So there you go, guys. Today on this episode for What's That Smell has to do with your home, for your safety, for those of you that are new to home buying, or those of you that are already been living in your home just like me for years now. You definitely just giving you these tips for you to be aware. So if this was the first time to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, hit us up, send us an email, shoot us a text, or better yet, let's jump on a Zoom call, and we hope to help you out next. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye.